archaeological survey before they dug it in the ground.
Yeah.
So we could put people to work.
Yeah.
We had indigenous people up there, tens of thousands. So the social anthropologists got to do work with them, and economic development, and traditional patterns of hunting, and control over their land for hunting purposes. So we were able to put all kinds of anthropology. Remember the first day I had that graph, what kind of anthropologist are you?
Sure.
You can, all those things. So, luckily, anthropology's always gotten along, targeted stuff, and we have a great masters now. We place 9 out of 10 every day. We've got more, we turn down New York, all over, actually from Europe, we turn down because we can't handle anymore. We got 7 full-time, and once in a while when I'm up there, I teach part-time. But, don't even ask me about the history department, the English department. Fighting terrible emails now, but before other kinds of, we just shook our hands. So it became hard to do because we're interdisciplinary here and trying to do things with geology, which is a natural make for anthropology, work together on an integrated course. All my life.
I was just going to ask you, how come the science department here, or biology department, didn't give you any, kind of like, I don't know how to put it, but like support? Support, yeah.
Yeah, support in the form of just asking me, would you like to come in and talk to my class a little bit about your class? No, just 2 or 3 people.
Well, see, the thing about it I find funny is because I'm actually taking biology now, and I'm noticing that I'm taking biology, but I'm also taking comparative religions.
Okay.
And a lot of the stuff I'm learning here, I'm able to use in my other classes.
Good.
And so I just don't understand like why you wouldn't get work in them.
Some of it is probably had hit my head on the wall a lot. For 2 years, I just put thousands of all over this campus, CSU, because I know some people couldn't get down there. My son was a undergraduate up there. He used to come to PCG and doesn't have any physiology.
Yeah, you can do that. You can.
And so I thought maybe I'd get some people from there to come in. And so I didn't pursue it as strong, although I kept asking, where are the counselors? So I got all this stuff out. By early October, I had these flyers that you saw were out. And I gave them to counselors, and aren't there more academic counselors where almost everybody after the first semester needs to talk with and give them, and you can push it? I can't feel that they did that job.
Well, I sent the flyer. I photocopied, not photocopied. I scanned your flyer, and I attached it to the 30. I think there's 35
in your group
in my Ion State program. So I emailed it to them, and I told them, I said, this is a 1-credit class for those of you who have taken epidemiology. This is kind of like reading the first chapter again.
You're making use of it.
Yeah, exactly. And then those of you who haven't had it, you shouldn't be scared about it because it's really history, but it'll be useful, and it's only 5 weeks. And there's a few people that wrote me back that said they wanted to take it, but they couldn't fit in their schedule. So if you do teach it again, semester, you probably have some out-of-state students there. And
now, are those people, when you say out-of-state, they're actually living there?
No.
They're here, but they're going to graduate from there.
Well, I'm an Adams State student. I haven't been to Alamosa. I've never been to Alamosa. And I probably will only be there for my graduation. So,
okay, that'd be a long commute.
Yeah.
It would be.
No, our classes, we take our business classes here at PCC during the day. We take our Adams State healthcare classes in the evening, and then hire adjunct professors to teach them. Like, for example, healthcare administration was taught a few semesters by the superintendent of the state hospital, who's a medical doctor, but he's an administrator. His general counsel who taught healthcare law. The chief epidemiologist for the city county health department taught the epidemiology class. So we've got really lucky.
I just want to make a note on something you said before I head out of here. When you're talking about how humans, like, you kind of like imagine us in a sandbox, whatever you know that. And you were also talking about how some of the professors, which one of them here, some of them at any school probably, like have a feeling like this is my department, like they own it. I was in class, and I was talking to one of the guys, I was talking to the professor actually, and he's got his doctorate in So, like, have you ever had a professor and you go to correct them on something that they might be wrong on, but like, if you do it respectfully, like, after class?
Yeah, after class, right.
I sat there, and he's correcting me on something that's my own major that he doesn't even have a degree in.
Well, yeah,
Called the ego.
Yeah, but as he points out, I remember getting lots of different items. Professor, one of his stories, I've read everything ever published in that, and I said, huh. Have you read the French and the Spanish? Well, I mean, yeah, he was pretty well versed, but, you know, to be that kind of person when what we really,
Yeah,
second is listening, third
Yeah.
is for practice,
yeah.
teaching others and letting others develop and think about these things. That's what time you're here.
Yeah.
Like a little concern, there's two people in Chuck who were pretty dynamic last time, they've never called me.
Yeah.
So I hope this isn't consistent because we'll have to revisit what we set out to do. So Joe, get this nailed down, read the whole thing, but get your part nailed down and so we can have a little discussion on it. You've got the first 25 minutes, it's not. Okay,
Bye-bye.
see you guys.
Thank you.
Fine.
Yep, you bet.
No, like that, he was really correcting me on something that's my own major, and like, there's a chance I could be wrong too. So I went back and I researched it, and I tried to tell him, you know, where he made the mistake at, and he's just like, well, no, I'm like, dude, it's right here in the book. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna find out, you know, you heard it all, you're not a young kid at 15, but you'll find that through life, you know. People, there are people without persuasion and others that, well, yeah, you can see that, but there's no real, like I said, physics has some questions now, and that's about as hard a science as you can get.
Yeah, I tell people all the time that I talk about evolution a lot, and the only thing I don't support yet, and you might change your mind on that, but is macroevolution. That's the only kind of evolution I have a problem believing.
Well, I've got a physical anthropology text, so, you know, it's not to convince you of anything, but it gives you a broad perspective of those things. And I think I have an extra copy. I was thinking of teaching it here, but then I was just worried it wouldn't make. But I have it on my list, believe it or not, Joe. I haven't forgotten you. A geology text, and I'm going to look upstairs at an archaeology text that goes through the data system. And then I have this, I think I have an extra copy, and it's pretty new, 2008. So I might, if I can find that one, I'll bring it Tuesday.
Well, I
I can just keep it.
I tell people all the time, like, if you can come up with some solid evidence, like, I'm not closed-minded to it. Yes, I am a
There you go.
creationist. I am a creationist,
I
but...
think that's all that people have to be, is not to be closed.
No,
But be open enough to, yeah, okay, I can find a lot of that, but let's see, I'll have to learn more about this to see how that fits it. You know, that's part of querying, you know, inquiry.
I tell people all the time, yeah, I'm a creationist. Now, I could be wrong, but I want proof before I believe that I'm wrong.
Sure. Well, and then you start getting even more basic, though. You have to get, if you go back, what will you accept for anyone as truth?
Yeah.
And
So that's
how,
why
even if you look at how that truth was, quote, truth was established, you have to always judge those things too.
Yeah.
But some things are more in one direction of meeting certain standard accepted criteria as truth than other things. But ultimately, who knows? You know, I mean, I remember being on a panel back in the 60s. There was a book out called by Van Dyke, and it was Chariots of the Gods, a popular paper, and who claimed that we all got fertilized, settled, seeded. The earth got seeded with life from other universes. Now, that's how I got involved, because the evidence he cited was clearly alternative ways that I knew about. Like he would show these pictures of, oh, look at these Nazca lines, they're called, in South America, in Peru, I think, on the borderline. If you're above in a hot air balloon, or if you're in a plane, like a plane especially, or even a big plane, you're going over into clear day, you can see these outlines that are huge, where the dirt was removed and made into these animals. And his claim of using that was that it had to be ancient astronauts that were up there, and they designed that, and you know. And I know on the ground how natives have created things like that. So I'm just saying, I got in it that way. Oh, tomb cover of a famous Mayan king, which I have visited at least twice and taught over. And now we have a real close understanding of Mayan grammar. Probably about 90% understood hieroglyphs. And what he used was this tomb cover in Palenque. He used this tomb cover that shows this king is a club-footed king, and now we have all the history of that being inbred, marrying different kind of relatives to keep the power intact, like the Egyptian royalty. And
So that's one of the problems I have with my own community.
and that's his clubfoot. But what I'm just saying is that Van Daniken used that cover and he said, he always speaks that way. You gotta always be suspicious when people say, it's clearly, up to you, that he's got his foot on some kind of a accelerator and these are the plumes, the smoke from a rocket ship taking off. Not true. So that's what I'm saying.
See, where I would have a problem,
Established truth.
where I would have a problem with his theory at,
Uh-huh.
I was gonna, is that even so, like, oh yeah, I don't believe in macroevolution yet, but throughout the period of time, you can see there's been different forms of humans. There's like the Cro-Magnon, there's a bunch of them that humans, we weren't always as we are now. We've adapted to a degree, and I know that. Well, and so we were all sprinkled.
Yeah, I'll bring that Tuesday. You can just hold on to it, and actually, if you want, you can leave it down at the library a year from now. I leave in the summer from work I do in Alaska, excavation maintenance sometimes, and a little cabin down out of the big city. But as long as I have his number, I mean, if I don't have a second copy, I might have 2 copies of it. So
Okay, all right, thank you.
I got to get going to a meeting here. Ooh, 3 o'clock. Oh, crap.
Okay, well, thanks. Be ready for this, so you and I can go kind of together. If you lead discussion, hopefully other people run it.
Okay.
The DVD will take 16 minutes.